Hello everybody. We meet again today for our second lesson after the continuous assessment tests, and this is a lesson number 7, environmental analysis and strategic management. As usual, I welcome you to Brand Institute of Forensics and Security, and I hope we are moving well and we are together with what we are talking about, what we are discussing, and what I'm presenting. We are presenting issues related to strategic management, which is a very important area of any organization in terms of achieving its goals, vision, and objectives. Therefore, today we are going to look at environmental analysis with a focus on an organization or an enterprise. What is environmental analysis when we talk about strategic management? An environmental analysis, also called an environmental scan, is a strategic tool used to identify and assess all external and internal elements in a business environment. It examines organizational and industry factors that can positively or negatively affect the business. It examines organizational and industry factors that can positively or negatively affect the business. By anticipating short-term and long-term impacts, the organization can readily respond to them when they appear. So, an environmental analysis in terms of strategic management is also called an environmental scan, and it is a strategic tool used to identify and assess all external and internal elements in a business environment. Kindly take note of that. The purpose of an environmental analysis. An environmental analysis assists organizations in defining factors that can influence their business operations. By weighing these elements, they can foresee the trajectory of their business given the circumstances. This approach allows the organizations to develop a strategy that takes advantage of opportunities and reduces threats. Incorporating an environmental analysis in the strategic planning sessions helps businesses systematically approach their decision-making process. This way, organizations can achieve their business goals and propel their performance to new heights. So an environmental analysis assists an organization in defining factors that can influence their business operations. By weighing these elements, the organization can foresee the trajectory of their business given the circumstances. Components. An environmental analysis consists of two major components, internal factors and external factors. Note down that an environmental analysis consists of two major components, internal factors and external factors. And when we talk about internal factors, we are talking about the components. These components ask organizations to look inward. Internal factors, internal environment. They examine the organization's strong and weak points based on its mission and vision. These factors also allow businesses to reflect on their direction and the plans in a set period, in 5 or 10 years. So internal factors looks at what is happening to the organization internally and what are the strengths and what are the weaknesses and how can the organization capitalize on the strength to take advantage of the situation and reduce on the threats in terms of a period of 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, something like that. And then also we say internal factors. These components ask organizations to look inward. They examine the organization's strengths and weak points based on its mission and vision. These factors also allow businesses to reflect on their direction and the plans in a set period of time, let's say 5 or 10 years. External factors. On the other hand, external factors refer to the high-level considerations that exist outside the organization. Businesses must examine the threats and opportunities present in the following matters: industry and market trends, competition, their advantages and weak points, customers, customer base and customer service, economy, economic activities that can impact the organization, technology, technological advancements that can streamline operations, and labor supply, labor markets in the area of operation, and the political and legal circumstances. These are external factors. So you see, we talk of internal factors that can impact the organization and also external factors that can impact the organization. And then also types of environmental analysis. There are several types of environmental analysis, and we are going just to mention two of them. We are going to mention that the two common types of environmental analysis methods are the PESTEL or PESTLE analysis and SWOT SWOT analysis. These approaches help organizations assess their strengths, strategic positions based on a wide range of internal and external factors. For example, we start with the PESTEL analysis. The PESTEL analysis, or its shorter form, PEST analysis, examines the factors which can influence a business on a larger scale outside the organization. It provides organizations with insights into the market status based on the high-level trends concerning the market, customers, technology, and more. The PESTEL method consists of 6 key elements for comprehensive picture of the business macro environment. So if you are asked a question with reference to the PESTEL analysis as relates to environmental analysis in strategic management, mention or detail the 6 key elements for a comprehensive picture of the business macro environment. You will need to mention the following elements. So the elements are political, country, central government, policies, trade rules, tax regulations, etc. Economic, unemployment rates, economic growth rates, foreign exchange rates, inflation, interest rates, and more. Social, demographic trends, consumer buying patterns, wealth distribution, attitudes and opinions, brand recognition. Technology, new technology discoveries and products, research and development areas, incentives for technology, legal, health and safety regulations, employment laws, product regulations, tariffs, and more. And then environmental, climate and weather conditions, energy consumption regulations, environmental policies, etc. These are the elements that play a very important role when we talk about the PESTEL analysis as pertains to environmental analysis in strategic management: political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental. And then the other area is a SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis evaluates a business strategic standing based on internal strengths, weaknesses, and external opportunities, threats, factors, etc. It uncovers a company's advantages and disadvantages based on its strong and weak points. In doing so, companies can devise a strategy that maximizes their opportunities while mitigating potential risks. The SWOT method takes the shape of a 2x2 matrix containing the following elements. So the SWOT method takes the shape of a 2x2 matrix containing the following elements. On one side, there are the strengths, which are the positives, and the opportunities. On the other hand, there are the negatives, which are the weaknesses and the threats. Please take 1 minute to just have a look at that figure or that picture, and then write down some of the few points, because the SWOT analysis is actually very, very important in environmental analysis. So take 1 minute to note something down. Therefore, SWOT analysis looks at strengths, opportunities, threats, and weaknesses existing in the organization in that way. And then when we talk about SWOT analysis in terms of strength, we mean what does the company do best? What is the company's unique selling point? And then weaknesses, what areas does the organization need to improve? What resources are lacking? And then opportunities, what opportunities can the company take advantage of based on your strength? And then threats, what threats exposes the organization to weaknesses? What threats exposes the organization to weaknesses? You can also do an individual SWOT analysis. You look at yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the opportunities that are existing for you to grow in your career or to grow in your company? And what are the threats that you're facing? And then you can come up with a clear analysis of what you need to do to improve or to defeat the weaknesses. And then we also talk about environmental analysis process, the process. An environmental analysis follows a systematic process of uncovering factors that affect company business and its operations. While there is no hard and fast rule on doing an environmental scan, the below steps mentioned can guide the management into making the most out of the process. I mentioned earlier that basically there are some areas that is the prerogative of the management to carry out these things. But that is where you are moving. As an individual, that is where you are going. If you are really growing in your career, then you are moving into management. And when you reach management, you should be able to understand how the environmental process is conducted and what is an environmental process. When we talk about strategic management, you are in security, you are in cyber security, you are in another field, you will grow, you will become a manager of a department in a particular field. You will sit in forums where we hold environmental analysis and strategic planning. So you should be able to know how the environmental analysis process is carried out. Number one is to identify the environmental factors. An environmental analysis, first and foremost, needs a list of the factors to evaluate. These factors will depend on the organization's industry and geographical location. This list should include both micro and macro environmental factors that have short-term and long-term impacts on their operations. For example, a mining company can outline the latest trends in their industry and environmental regulations in their locality. That is an example. So first is to identify the environmental factors. Number two is to collect information about these factors. After outlining the environmental factors, the next step is to gather data related to them. The management can utilize various sources to make sure the information is relevant and up to date. For example, customer satisfaction surveys provide information about how products or services perform in the market and what improvements can be made. And then check the competitors. During an environmental scan, the research team doesn't stop at the organization's business standing. It's also necessary to scope out how competitors are performing. A competitor analysis can help determine any threats that can weaken the business and opportunities that set the company apart from the competition. So you have to after conducting an environmental analysis, checking environmental factors that affect the organization, then you have to collect information about these factors, and then you also have to collect information or to carry out a study about competitors. You carry out a study about competitors to determine any threats that can weaken the business and opportunities that set the company apart from its competitors. And then also another step is to determine the impacts on the organizations. Determine the impact on the organization. Once sufficient environmental information has been collected, the information can be used to predict how it can affect their business. This step sets expectations so the management can prepare for the possible outcomes should these factors come to occur. In assessing risks and their impact, it's vital to ask the following questions. What are the consequences of these factors on the business? How long will this last? How will this affect the business positively, negatively, or if there will be no impact? And then how important is this factor in the overall business operations? How important is this factor in the overall business operations? Also, devise a strategic plan. After you have done these studies, devise a strategic plan. The final step allows the management to brainstorm and formulate strategies for the possible changes from these factors. It includes assessing current strategic plans and adjusting them based on the information gathered about the business environment. The management can also enumerate steps to maximize opportunities and minimize threats. The management can enumerate steps to maximize opportunities and minimize threats. Let's talk a little bit about globalization. Globalization can transform companies if they fail to adapt the change in the environment. Environment refers to all those factors or factors that influence various decisions of the firm. A firm's environment consists of internal environment and external environment. We have already spoken about this. Both this environment help to determine the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and the threats. If you remember the SWOT analysis, all these factors that consist of internal and external environment actually determine strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Components of business environment. We are again going back a little bit to see to look at these components at a more deeper level. The various components or factors of business environment can be broadly divided into two groups, internal and external environment. A firm's internal environment consists of its plan, policies, resources, relations, and other factors which affect its working. And then factors of internal environment, management philosophy. Let's talk of factors of internal environment. You can write this down as a topic because here it is very important and you may encounter a lot of challenges in the future as we move along. We say management philosophy. It greatly influences the working of a business firm. The management may adopt a traditional philosophy or a professional philosophy. Traditional approach places emphasis on family management and normally uses outdated techniques or practices. There is not much emphasis on social responsibility. However, professional approach gives importance to professionalism in management and social responsibility towards various members of the society. You remember also in another topic we learned about the responsibilities that an organization has towards the government, towards the community, towards its competitors, towards its suppliers and customers. We spoke about those things. Therefore, number two is a mission and objective. Under globalization, the objective of the firm must be consistent with a mission statement. Therefore, it is always advisable to frame a mission statement and then list out the various objectives. We also spoke about mission statements. We also spoke about visions in previous lessons. An analysis of the internal environment will enable the firm to find out whether the objectives are in line with the mission statement, and it will help the firm to know if the objectives are accomplished or not. If a firm is not in a position to accomplish its objective, then it is a sign of weakness of the firm. So necessary measures need to be taken to accomplish the objective. Plan and policies. The plan and policies of the firm must be in line with its objectives as far as possible. A firm should frame proper plan and policies, taking into consideration the objectives and resources. The analysis of the internal environment will help the firm to know the appropriateness of its plans and policies. E.g., a firm may be placing too much emphasis on seniority as the basis for promotion instead of merit as the basis. After the analysis, the firm may reframe the personal policy of promotion in favor of merit rather than seniority. So just a repeat is that the analysis of the internal environment will help the firm to know the appropriateness of its plans and policies. E.g., a firm may be placing too much emphasis on seniority as the basis for promotion instead of merit as the basis. After the analysis, the firm may reframe the personal policy of promotion in favor of merit rather than seniority. Also, we are also going to look at the human resources, which is also a very important a part in this analysis, in the environmental analysis. The survival and success of the farm largely depends on the quality of human resource. The knowledge, attitude, skills, and social behavior of the employee greatly affect the working of the business farm. Take note of knowledge, attitude. First of all, attitude. These are some of the social, the human resource factors that play a major role in the working of the business farm. Therefore, a farm needs to have not only experienced and qualified workforce, but also a highly dedicated and motivated team. An analysis of the environment in respect to human resources would reveal the shortcomings and measures can be taken to correct such weaknesses. For example, if an analysis of the human resources is carried out and it is determined that the organization has very weak people in terms of staffing, then the human resource will have to face questions and sometimes even lose their employment because they are not very effective in sourcing and identifying talent and skilled and well experienced individuals. Also, during the internal environment analysis, we may also look at the financial resources. This is also an integral part to all of this process. It relates to the monetary resources. A firm needs adequate working capital as well as fixed capital. There is a need to have proper management of working and fixed capital. The firm should obtain the funds from the right sources at the lowest possible cost. An analysis of financial resources would reveal the strength or weaknesses. If weakness is detected, the firm should take adequate measures to improve on the financial strength of the firm. And then also we also look at the physical resources. It includes machines, buildings, equipment, office premises, furniture, and fixture, etc. A firm needs adequate and quality physical resources. Appropriate resources bring job satisfaction, improve quality and quantity of production. An analysis may reveal the weakness of the physical resources and corrective measures can be taken. So you can see this environmental analysis will look at the human resource, we look at the financial resource, we look at the environmental factors, we look at the physical resources. So it encompasses all areas of the organization, all areas that touch on the success and the operations of the organization. Also, it will also look at the corporate image. A firm should develop, maintain, and enhance a good corporate image in the minds of employees, investors, customers, and others. Poor corporate image is a weakness. Hence, a firm should encourage or undertake an analysis of its image. If problem is detected, corrective measures should be taken. Image is very important to any firm. And then labor management relations. There should be excellent relations between the management and the workers, the unions. They should work as a team to achieve the objectives of the firm. If the analysis reveals any issues, immediate measures should be taken to improve labor management relations. So labor management relations. So far we have spoken about corporate image, labor management relations, and other elements that are very, very, very important during the internal environmental analysis. And just to remind you that the human resource is part of the elements, and the human resource is very important. Financial section is also very important among other important elements. And then let's now focus a little bit on external environment. The external business environment also plays an important role in the survival and success of a business enterprise. There is a constant need to analyze the external environment so as to find out the opportunities and threats. The external environment can be divided into two groups. One, micro environment, and two, macro environment. So let's look at this. External environment can be divided into two groups. That is one, micro environment, and two, macro environment. Now, macro environment. Macro environment consists of all those factors in the farm's immediate environment. Farm's immediate environment. Number one, the customers. The customer is one of the most important factors in the farm's external environment. The consumers affect most of the business decisions. The customer's needs, wants, preferences, and buying behavior must be outstudied in order to frame proper production and something went wrong, but let's continue. They expect new and better goods. Their taste and their preferences do change. They expect a company to provide quality goods at reasonable price. Therefore, the farm must keep in mind the customer's expectations and requirements and accordingly make market decisions. So the customer is in the group of the micro environment, which is the immediate environment. And then number two are the competitors. The competitors still in the micro environment. The company has to identify and monitor its competitors' activities. Information must be collected about competitors in respect of their price, products, promotion, distribution, and strategies. Such information will enable the farm to analyze the strengths and weaknesses of the competitors. The farm has to take adequate measures to win over the confidence of the customers in its favor. So number two, in the micro environment is the competitors. Number one are the customers. Then number three are the suppliers. Suppliers supply raw materials, machines, equipment, and other resources. Such purchases do have a direct impact on the farm's marketing decisions. The company has to keep a watch over prices and quality of materials and machines supplied by suppliers. The company has to maintain good relations with them to supply quality items at the right price and at the right time. So we also have to take into consideration suppliers, and we have to study suppliers at length and then determine if they are supplying the correct raw materials, the good machines, the quality equipment, and other resources. Also, we have channel intermediaries, dealers and other middle people in the chain of distribution are important factors in the farm's immediate environment. The farm has to select and satisfy its dealers in order to push and promote its products in the market. Nowadays, dealer recommendations play an important role to convince buyers to buy products, especially in the case of consumer durables. The farm has to monitor and motivate the dealer to push and promote its products and also to obtain timely feedback about consumer tastes, preferences, etc. So these are the middle people, the intermediaries. And then also in the immediate environment of the organization is the society. The society may also affect a company's decision. The society can either facilitate or make it difficult for a company to achieve objectives. Therefore, professional business firms maintain public relations departments to handle complaints, grievances, and suggestions from the general public. The various members of the society include financial institutions and banks. They affect a firm's ability to obtain funds. Number two is the media. The media affect the goodwill of the firm through their favorable or unfavorable reporting about the company. And then number three, the government affect the firm's decision through its policies, rules, and regulations, etc. You see, when a new government comes into place and they change how business is done and they change how they make decisions about issuance of operating licenses and whatever, then this may also affect several organizations that are already in the market. Also, we talk now about the macro environment. Micro environment, we have seen suppliers, we have seen customers, we have seen the society and other areas. The macro environment consists of the societal factors that affect the working of a firm. Societal factors that affect the macro environment we see it deals with consists of societal factors that affect the working of a firm. It relates to demographic, economic, natural, technological, political, cultural, international, and legal forces. The various macro factors are: one, demographic environment. It studies human production, population with a reference to its size, density, literacy rate, life expectancy, sex ratio, rural-urban divide, age composition, occupation, etc. Since business deals with people, business firms have to study in detail the various demographic factors which would help them to frame proper production and marketing strategies. Under also macro environment, we have economic environment. A business firm closely interacts with its economic environment, which consists of economic conditions in the market, economic policies of the government, economic systems of the country. Business firms should have a good idea about the economic conditions in the market, i.e., demand and supply factors. They must have good knowledge of government policies in respect of taxation, foreign trade, money market, etc. And then we have the natural ecological environment. It relates to the natural resources like land, water, minerals, etc. In doing so, two things happen: erosion of natural resources, and two, pollution of resources like air, water, etc. Business firms should understand the above two effects and take necessary measures to control erosion and population of natural resources. They may search for alternative sources such as solar energy, recycling of waste, etc. They should produce environment-friendly and consumer health-oriented products. So this is also the natural environment under the macro environment. And then also we have technological environment. These are constant technological developments. Business firms must constantly monitor changes in the technological environment. This is because a change in technology may affect an impact on the firm's business. May have an impact on the firm's business. As such, business firms should make efforts to adapt and adjust to new technological development so as to survive and succeed in the competitive business world. Our political environment, you already know about this one. Business decisions are greatly influenced by the developments in the political environment. This environment consists of government agencies, political parties, and pressure groups that influence and control various individuals and organizations in a society. A change in the government brings about a change in attitude, preference, objectives, and priorities. Business firms need to keep track of policies and frame production and marketing changes accordingly. All political events anticipate changes in government, politics, etc. Politics. You know how politics affects business. You know how politics chases away investors. You know how policies makes it very difficult for existing organizations to survive. You know how politics may make it very possible for firms, business enterprises to survive. So politics plays a major role in what we call strategic planning and strategic management. Managers have to consider the political environment. Also, we have the cultural environment. This involves knowledge, beliefs, morals, laws, customs, and other such elements which are acquired by individuals and groups in a society. The cultural norms and values are passed along from one generation to another through institutions like family, schools, colleges, and religion. Culture is deep-rooted in people. However, slow and gradual changes are taking place in their cultural environment. Western cultures are influencing Indian consumers and other parties in the world, especially the young generation. Their lifestyles, tastes, and preferences are changing, and as such, business firms should make a note of such changes so as to serve their customers with appropriate goods and services. And then we have the legal environment also plays a very major role. Legal environment includes laws which define and protect the fundamental rights of individuals and organizations. Business needs legal support to protect firms by defining and preventing unfair competition, protect consumers from unfair business practices, protect the interest of various members of society such as employers, investors, suppliers, dealers, etc. Business firms must have up-to-date and complete knowledge of the laws governing production and distribution of goods and services. So legal environment falls under macro environment, and it is also a very important area that the organization should have a keen interest in. Today, we are talking about environmental analysis, and we have spoken about several issues. We have spoken about an internal analysis, and also we have spoken about an external analysis. We have spoken about internal items that play a very major role in the success of an organization, and also the external items that play a very major role in the operation of an organization. Please keep this in mind as you grow up in your career, as you continue to study with us. Keep this environmental analysis into mind. Remember, we spoke about the PESTEL analysis. We also spoke about SWOT analysis, where SWOT analysis we spoke about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And also in the PESTEL analysis, we spoke about things like political, social, societal, and other factors. Go through this presentation and note down the important things. Also have a look at the notes and study in detail as we move forward with our course. I want to say thank you very much. We have come to the end of this presentation for this weekend. We will meet again this coming weekend. Thank you very much.